Another thing, it's drumming. Historically was an oral sort of thing, and it wasn't. The scores weren't written out, and people used to learn by ear. So how do people memorize drum scores?
Well, I was the same. I would have written out wee exercises for beginners when I was teaching at home and in the family home, but I didn't properly read or write, and I still didn't when I joined shots. But what made me do it was that an album came up. So when you're learning a medley or an MSR through the winter, then it's a very gradual process, and with no real time factor involved, because until you don't need it to the start of the season.
Developing the
But whenever an album comes up and there's 33 or 40 tunes to learn, and then that changed the whole thing, because Alec Duthard used to call me Leslie Welsh, the memory guy. And because once it went into the head, it stayed there. And it's still the case yet, but where the rest of the guys left me behind, oh goodness. I used to watch some of them, John Fisher, Jim Kilpatrick, Jim Dunsmore, all these guys, they could read, and I couldn't.
Aye.
So necessity became that I had to get to grips with it. So Bert Batter taught me a good bit as to get familiar with the album material used.
Yeah.
But from then on, it was reading big time and writing.
It's funny that, because one of the last people I spoke to in this Pipers'Persuasion was John Walsh. John seemed to have a very impressive memory also.
Yes. Yeah. Well, John and I shared the same lodgings, and I learned, apart from the McAllisters, I learned an awful lot from John Walsh. I would say Tom McAllister, Alec Duthard, and John Walsh was the three guys that I didn't know I was paying as much attention to, shall we say.
Yeah, that's amazing, that, isn't it?
Unwittingly,
So, harping back, before Shots Pipe Band, who did you play with, John?
I did a half season with the Lanarkshire Police.
Aye, that's where you meet Walsh.
That's right. That's where I met Hugh McInnes and as well.
Aye.
I used to listen to them guys playing. The tune of the day at that time was Lucy Cassidy, hornpipe, right. And that was fantastic. And these guys could play. And that was where Campbell McGugan and John McAllister were basically the instigators of bringing me to Scotland. After that, then, there was talk of the regionalisation, as you remember, and Renfrewshire and Bute and the city of Glasgow and the Lanarkshire Constabulary was all going to be amalgamated.
Yeah, 1975.
Yes, so I went up. A friend of mine called me up from Northern Ireland, and he asked me would I have a word with John McAllister to see if his reeds was on the way or not.
Aye.
So I went up to John McAllister, and he says, "And what are you doing now?" I says, "I don't know what's going to happen." And he says, "Well, get down there and see Alec Duthard." And so I left John McAllister's house and went straight down to 6 Bradiel Crescent, New Mains, to Alec Duthard, and we sat and plethered and we played a bit, and that the rest is history.
And that was 1974 or thereabouts, just prior
Yeah.
to the amalgamation you're talking about. How long did you play with shots, John?
Well, I played till the end of I left in 1986. You know, playing with shots was very, very natural to me, Alan, because we were schooled on it. McAllister and Duthard were they probably didn't know it. They were our musical custodians.
Yeah.
And so everything that we had in our head that we would love to do in pipe bands, well, the shots had the whole package.
How many drummers did you have in the 70s when you were playing with shots?
Well, when I joined the band, I was number 7.
Okay.
And then Bert Parr was going to pick a guy up from the airport from the city of Victoria, John Fisher. And John thought that he was the 7th.
Oh,
and it turned out John was the 8th. So then, before that, back in the 70s there was 7 of shots in the very early 70s. And they called them the Magnificent 7.